Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, we are very much honored that we have amongst us His Grace Srivas Prabhu. So, Prabhuji's introduction is quite long. I will try to present it as briefly as possible so that we can hear Prabhuji more. So, Srivas Prabhu joined ISKCON in Ghana in 1981 and he got initiated by His Holiness Bhakti Tirth Maharaj in 1983. So first he served in BBT as a manager for 4 years. Then he served as temple president in several temples in Nigeria and Ghana. He also served as regional secretary for West Africa from 1987 to 2016. Then he completed Mayapur Institute Bhakti Sastri course. And since then, he is teaching these courses in Mayapur and Vrindavan. Inspired by this, he also established Bhaktivedanta Academy for Culture and Education in West Africa. And from there, Sastric education is being given to all of our devotees in West Africa and in Africa in general. Then Prabhuji was also appointed as Global Duty Officer as well as GBC Executive Secretariat to facilitate the development of promotion of Ministry of Education book. Book are the basis. This particular project, Prabhuji continued there in Africa. And after completing GBC College for Leadership Development course in 2016, he was appointed as Zonal Supervisor for West Africa, and he continues to serve in this position till date. Prabhuji is also serving as GBC Deputy for Task for Assessment of Sannyas Candidate. So Prabhuji is one of the person who is one of the main person to ensure the sannyas candidates are properly assigned or assessed. So also Prabhuji is Diksha Guru in ISKCON. So we are very, very much blessed to have Srivas Prabhu amongst us. Let's welcome Srivas Prabhu by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo, Haribo. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for your kind introduction. We are just trying to serve the Vaishnavas, and somehow or the other, people have some faith that we can do something. So we pray that we can serve the Vaishnavas throughout the world. That is the real success. In whatever position you find yourself, the underlying principle is service. And we accept positions for the purpose of serving the devotees, the Vaishnavas. That is the success. But if we accept positions to just enjoy the fame and the name, that is very dangerous. So my prayer is all of you should kindly pray for me so that I can do these services for the benefit of all living entities in the world. Thank you. Of course, Chowpatty is always my source of inspiration, and so I always come here to become more and more inspired to execute my spiritual master's orders, because I can see how the devotees here are nicely executing His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj's instructions, and as a result, things are expanding. So I come here to take inspiration so that I can also try to serve my spiritual master in a very small way. Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabiyare Gopinjana Vallabha Girivaridhare Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachare Yamuna Tira Vanachare Jai Radha Madhava Kunjabiyare Jaya Gopinjana Vallabha Girivaridhare Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanananda Vrajajana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachare Yamunatira Vanachare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Gopinath Radha, Gopinath Radha. Jaya Radha, Giridhari Radha, Giridhari Radha. Jai Gauranita, Jai Gauranita, Gauranita, Jai Gauranita. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Prabhupada. Jai Jai Gurudev, 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 Jai Gurudev. Anitai Gaur Haribo, 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 Gaur Haribo. Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Rastotarasata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Abhaya Charanara Vrinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. ISKCON Founder Acharya Jagat Guru, Savior of the whole world, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jaya Nityalila Pravista Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Astautarasata Sri Srimad His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Brahmacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Si Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shaima Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Samavera Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Shri Gaura Premnande. All glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, all glory to Srila Prabhupada. Narayana Namaskritya Narachaiva Narotamam Devim Sarasvatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya Nashtapray Swabhadresu Nityam Bhagavatam Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Mukti Bhavati Naistiki Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, entitled Answers by Citing the Lord's Version. And today we are treating text 6. Sachitayam dvi aksharam ekadambasi Opashrinot dvir gatitam vacho vibhu Sparseso yatso dasham ekavimsam Niskinchananam nripayadanam viduho Sachintayam dvi aksharam ekadambasi Opashrinot dvir gatitam vacho vidhura Sparsesu yatso dasham ekavimsam Nishkinchananam nripayadhanam viduhu Sachintayam dvi aksharam ekadambasi Opashrinot dvir gatitam vacho viduhu Sparsesu yatso dasham ekavimsam Niskinchananam nripayadhanam viduhu Sachintayam dvi aksharam ekam vasasi Upashrinot dvi gatitam vacho vibhu Niskannanam dripayadanam vidhu. Sanchintayam dvi aksharam ekandamamasi. Upasrino dvi gatitam vacho vibhu. Parisheshu yasoda samnekam visham. Iskichananam dripayadanam vidhu. Sachintayam dvi aksharam ekadabasi. Asri noidri gaditam vacho vibhu. Sarpasesu yad sudam savekavimsam. Iskinanam niripayadhanam vibhu. Ladies, Sachintayam dvi aksharam ekam prasasi. Upasri dvi gaditam vacho vibhu. Sarsesu yasodasham ekavimsam. Niskichananam dripayadhanam vibhu. Ajitam dvi aksharam ekam varasi. Upasri dvi gatitam vacho vibhu. Sarsesu yasodasham ekavimsam. Iskinyanam niripayadhanam vibhu. Word for word translation. Saha, he, Chintayan, while thus thinking. Dvi, two, Aksharam, syllables. Ekada, once upon a time. Ambasi, in the water. Upashrinot, had it nearby. Dvi, twice. Gaditam, uttered. Vachaha, words. Vibhu, the great. Sparsesu, in the sparsa letters. Yat, which. Sodasham, the 16th. Ekavimsam, and the 21st. Niskinchananam, of the renounced order of life. Nripa, O king. Yat, what is? Dhanam, wealth. Vidu, as it is known. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Ki. Translation. While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji had twice from nearby two syllables joined together. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order of life. Kindly repeat responsibly. While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji had twice from nearby two syllables joined together. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th, and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order of life. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In Sanskrit language, the consonant alphabets are divided into two divisions, namely the Sparsha Varnas and the Talavya Varnas. From Ka to Ma, the letters are known as the Sparsha Varnas. And the 16th of the group is called Ta, whereas the 21st letter is called Pa. So when they are joined together, the word tapa, or penance, is constructed. This penance is the beauty and wealth of the Brahmanas and the renounced order of life. According to Bhagavad philosophy, every human being is meant simply for this tapa, for no other business. And for no other business, because by penance only can one realize himself. And self-realization, not sense gratification, is the business of human life. This tapa, or penance, was begun from the very beginning of the creation, and it was first adopted by the Supreme Spiritual Master, Lord Brahma. By tapasya only can one get the profit of human life, and not by a polished civilization of animal life. The animal does not know anything except sense gratification in the jurisdiction of eat, drink, and be merry, eat, drink, be merry, and enjoy. But the human being is made to undergo tapasya for going back home, back to Godhead. When Lord Brahma was perplexed about how to construct the material manifestations in the universe, and went down within the water to find out the means and the source of his lotus seed, he heard the word tapa vibrated twice. Taking the path of tapa is the second birth of the desiring disciple. The word upashrinot is very significant. It is similar to upanayana, or bringing the disciple nearer to the spiritual master for the path of tapa. So Brahmaji was thus initiated by Lord Krishna, and this fact is corroborated by Brahmaji himself in his book, the Brahma Samhita. In the Brahma Samhita, Lord Brahma has sung in every verse, Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Thus Brahma was initiated by the Krishna mantra, by Lord Krishna himself, and thus he became a Vaishnava, or a devotee of the Lord. Before he was able to construct the huge universe, it is stated in the Brahma Samhita that Lord Brahma was initiated into the 18-letter Krishna mantra, which is generally accepted by all the devotees of Lord Krishna. We follow in the same principle because we belong to the Brahma Sampradaya. Directly in the disciplic chain from Brahma to Narada, and from Narada to Vyasa, and from Vyasa to Madhva Muni, and from Madhva Muni to Madhavendrapuri, and from Madhavendrapuri to Ishwarapuri, and from Ishwarapuri to Lord Chaitanya, and gradually to His Divine Grace, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, our Divine Master. One who is thus initiated into the disciplic succession is able to achieve the same result or power of creation. Chanting of this holy mantra is the only shelter of the desireless pure devotees of the Lord. Simply by such tapasya or penance, the devotee of the Lord achieves all perfections like Lord Brahma. Om Jnana Timridasya Jnanan Ganashalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dodoti Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunastambitam Tam Sanjivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvese Sashunyavadi Pasachade Satarini Vanchakalpatarvyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaivacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So translation again. While thus engaged in thinking in the water, Brahmaji heard twice from nearby two syllables joined together. One of the syllables was taken from the 16th and the other from the 21st of the Sparsha alphabets, and both joined to become the wealth of the renounced order of life. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum lagayete grim yatkri patamahan vande Shri Guru Dina Taradam Paramanam Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Akanda Mandala Karam Vyaptaina Characharam Tatpadam Dashitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. So we are very happy to be here among such wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are eagerly and enthusiastically glorifying their lordships, Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Lalita Vishaka, Sri Sri Gopal Ji, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai, and Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada. Every day we are witnessing the enthusiastic service, enthusiastic chanting, enthusiastic activities of the devotees in Sri Sri Radha Gopinath Temple. So we are happy to take association of such enthusiastic devotees. And so before we speak, we seek the blessings of all the assembled Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, both seen and unseen, so that we may say something for our own purification, for our own spiritual progress, and probably for the benefit of the audience. Swakripa yat danena santa santu avalambalam. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is praying for the mercy of the devotees. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that he is blind and his path is slippery. Skala pada gate muhur. He is slipping again and again. And so, in such a situation, such a difficult situation, Drugame Patime Idasya, in such a difficult situation, our only support is the mercy of the Vaishnavas. So we pray that all the assembled devotees may lend me their stick of mercy as my support, so that I can render this service of trying to repeat something that Shukadeva Goswami has already said, already digested, and given us. So in this beautiful verse, so much is there, so much. But I think I will just dwell on the importance of austerities, because we can see that from the beginning of creation, from the very onset of creating this material world, this universe with its planetary systems and living entities, Brahma was instructed to perform austerity. Tapastram tapa etena, tapa siddhir bhavishyanti. Brahma heard the sound vibration twice. Tapa, tapa. And with his great intelligence, Brahma understood that I cannot achieve anything without first of all performing austerities. So immediately, instead of searching up and down the lotus stem trying to find his source, Brahma immediately absorbed himself in Tapasya. And so, after performing Tapasya for thousands of years, Brahma gained knowledge. Brahma became empowered. Brahma was equipped with the technology to create the planetary systems and the bodies of the living entities. So it is important that Tapasya is the basis of everything. The planetary systems, our bodies, the whole material manifestation was initiated by Brahma simply because he performed great austerities to gain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada writes that penance is the beauty and wealth of the Brahmanas and the renounced order of life. And then he says, according to the Bhagavat philosophy, every human being is meant simply for this tapa and for no other business because by penance only one can realize the self. So austerities are important. Tapasya are important. We cannot avoid tapasya. In fact, it is said that the material world is created on tapasya. And so once we take birth in the material world, we have to experience some tapasya. If we refuse to accept voluntary tapasya, voluntary austerities, then the other choice is that we are going to go through involuntary austerity. We are going to go through miseries. Radha tapta kari misra. The spiritual energy which gives pleasure to Krishna and to the living entities in the spiritual world, when it comes in touch with the most material nature, it becomes a source of misery. Radha tapta kari misra. It becomes a source of misery for the living entities. So if we don't voluntarily accept austerities to purify our existence, if we don't accept austerities to attain perfection of Krishna consciousness, and we opt for sense gratification like the animals, then we should be prepared for the tapta kari, the miseries of material wealth. So we have these two choices. Accepting voluntary austerities for a higher purpose of Krishna consciousness, or refusing to accept voluntary austerities and then going for tapta kari, the miseries of material existence. It doesn't matter where we find ourselves. It doesn't matter your social status. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter whether you are the head of state or the servant of the state. These tapta karis, these miseries will affect you. Birth, disease, old age, and death. Nobody has a solution for them. Nobody can bribe them. Nobody can do anything about it. They are there to make sure that every living entity entering the material world, he has to go through them. Do kalayam asaswatam, Krishna tells us in Bhagavad Gita, that every living entity that comes into this world must experience this dukkha, the miseries of birth, disease, old age, and death, and many others, frustrations, unhappiness, disappointments, and so many other things come up on daily basis. But if we choose the path of austerities, voluntary austerities, devotional austerities, then the future is very bright. So it is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Labdva sudulabam idam bahu sambhavante, manushyam artadam nityam api jiraha. Those human beings that are wise, they take advantage of the human form of life. Those human beings that are clever, they take advantage of this human form of life, which is very difficult to obtain, very rare to get. Dulabam manusya deho, dehinam shana bangura. The human form of life is very, very difficult to obtain. And once it is obtained, one can easily lose it. Dehinam shana bangura. It is very easily destroyed. So therefore, those who are intelligent, they will take full advantage of this form of life so that they can attain perfection. After many, many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. That is what this human form of life is meant for. And by performing voluntary austerities, one can achieve this very, very important goal. And so we see there are many examples, many exalted personalities. They all engage in austerities. Why do they do that? Because they know the value of austerity. Krishna's parents, Vasudeva and Devaki, how do they become parents of Krishna? They became parents of Krishna simply by performing devotional austerities. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that in their previous lives, as Sutapa and Prishni Garbha, they performed such austerities for a very long time, eating only dry leaves, drinking only water, and hardly breathing, just to attract the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It says, my dear Father, you endured rain, you endured the wind, you endured sunshine, scorching heat, severe cold, suffering all kinds of inconveniences, just to please me. And in this way, desiring a benediction from me, you worship me with peaceful minds. So Vasudeva and Devaki, in their previous lives, they performed such austerity to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And the Lord was pleased by their severe austerities and appeared before them and promised them, I will become your son. So Krishna appeared as Prishni Garbha, from the womb of Prishni. Then he came again as Vamanadev, the son of Aditi and Kasyapa. Then he came again as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, simply because these devotees perform austerities to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Evam vam tapostut tivram tapa paramandushkaram divya varsha sahasrani dwadaseyu mat atmanayo. Thus you spend 12,000 celestial years performing difficult activities of tapasya. And so I appeared as your son. So, by performance of austerities, we don't lose anything. We rather gain. That is a fact. Prishni and Shutapa, they perform austerities for 12,000 celestial years. One may say, what is the use of such austerity? But the result is, the Lord became favorably disposed towards them. They were able to attract Krishna, and Krishna became their son. Krishna appeared in their family. 3 times, Krishna became their son. What a glorious position to become the Supreme Personality of God. The father of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is an honor. Srila Prabhupada says that the Mayavadis, the impersonalists, they want to be equal to God. But God becomes subservient to his devotee. The impersonalists, they want to be equal to God. But even though God is very great, he's so great, yet that great personality, he takes pleasure in becoming the son of his devotee. Swayam Bhagavan Krishna Ekale Ishwaraha Aditwayam Atman Majam Rasikara Sekar. Rasika Sekara. That Krishna, who is the ocean of all pleasure, the ocean of all relationships, the ocean of all mellows, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he takes pleasure in becoming the son of Nanda Maharaj. Advititam Nandatmanja Rasika Sekara. That even though he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the Lord takes great pleasure in becoming the son of his devotees. So Prabhupada said, who is greater? The Mayavadis, who wants to merge, who wants to be equal to the Lord, or the devotee that becomes the parent of the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Obviously, the devotee is greater. Now Krishna, he loves his devotees, appreciates the devotees' devotional austerity, that Krishna becomes a son. So, becoming austere, accepting voluntary austerities, there is great gain. There is nothing to lose. And there are many, many examples. We have the example of the Prachetas. The Prachetas, they performed austerities for 10,000 years. And at the end of 10,000 years, Lord Vishnu appeared before them. The Supreme Personality of Godhead appeared before them and rewarded their austerities. And because the Lord appeared before them, they immediately forgot all the troubles that they experienced in performing the austerities. Performing 10,000 years of severe austerities is not a small activity. It's a serious business. But as soon as the Lord appeared before them, immediately they forgot all the austerities they performed. They forgot all the trouble they went through. They were so enlightened, they were so jubilant that the Lord has appeared before them. So Prabhupada writes that that when one undergoes austerities to obtain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is the greatest achievement one can ever have. There is also the issue of Kandarma Muni. Kandarma Muni was performing severe austerities in the forest. And he attracted the Supreme Personality of Godhead by his great austerities, by his devotional austerities. And Lord Narayan appeared before Kandarma Muni. And Lord Narayan was so affectionate towards Kandarma Muni that he was shedding tears of love. And those tears created a Bindu Sarovar. That is amazing, that the Lord enjoys to see his devotees perform such austerity. So, there is a debate between the gopis and the flute of Krishna. The gopis are feeling, why is Krishna always keeping this bamboo stick very close to his lips? The lips are the property of the gopis. Nobody else should own those lips. But this bamboo stick, in the form of a flute, has taken over the lips of Krishna. Krishna cannot do without his flute. When Krishna is sleeping, the flute is tucked under his dhoti. When Krishna is in the fields, the flute is with him. Wherever Krishna goes, the flute is his constant companion. So the gopis, they were wondering, what kind of austerities, what kind of pious credits has this bamboo stick obtained in order to become so dear to Krishna? So it is said, Gopi Gana Kava Sabha Karya Vachare. The gopis, they were discussing how many pious activities this flute performed in his past life. We do not know what places of pilgrimage he visited, what austerities he performed, what perfect mantra he chanted to gain the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So austerities are beneficial. So it is said that the parents of the flute, the bamboos that are standing on the banks of the Ganges and the banks of the Yamuna, they are so happy, they are so joyful that their descendant has become an associate of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when they heard the gopis speaking like this, then they said, do you know the austerities we performed? We stood on our legs for thousands of years, only drinking water from the river's bed. That is the austerity we perform. If you want to inherit that position of being a constant companion of Krishna, come and stand here for thousands of years, eating nothing, but just drinking water. So the bamboos, they're telling the gopis that by the performance of great austerities, one can gain the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by performing austerities, we can see that one attains the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even Lakshmi herself, Mother Lakshmi, the consort of Lord Narayan, the queen of Vaikuntha, she is also performing austerity. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it is mentioned, Ye Balakshmi Takarani Teno Ye Kalisuni Krishna Pasa Aisha Pratyasaya Napayaka Krishnera Sangabade Krishna Sangara Tapkare Tabu Nahi Payaha. When she hears the vibration of Krishna's flute, even the goddess of fortune comes to him, greatly hoping for his association, but nevertheless, she doesn't get it. And when the waves of test for his association increases, she performs great austerities to gain Krishna's association, but still she cannot get it. So even Mother Lakshmi, she is performing great austerities in Badiravan, in Vrindavan, in Braj, just to gain Krishna's association, but she's not getting it. So we must understand the value of austerities. It is also mentioned here that Lord Shiva performs great austerities in Kailash. Why is Lord Shiva performing austerities in Kailash? Because he is always meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Shiva's eyes are closed and he's chanting on his beads, Ram, 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 Rati. That is a mantra he chants 24 hours. Why? He's deriving great pleasure performing austerities and chanting the names of the Lord. So he's enjoying that situation, constant relishment of the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So by that austerity, Lord Shiva is gaining the association of Krishna. It is also mentioned, Namastubhyam Bhagavate Krishnaya Kunta Medase Narayana Rishaye Susatum Tapa Santum Tapa Iyushe. My obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose intelligence is unrestricted. Obeisances to Sri Narayan Rishi, who always undergoes great austerities in the Himalayas for the welfare of all living entities. Even the Lord himself, in the form of Narayan Rishi, is performing great austerities in Bandarikshra Ashram, where he is doing these austerities for the benefit of all living entities. The Lord does not need to perform austerities, yet he is performing austerities for the benefit of all living entities within this material world. So austerities are important. And then we're going to see how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he accepted sannyas, he would sleep on the dry leaves of the banana tree, or sometimes the banana bark. That is where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would sleep. And sleeping on this rough bird gave him a lot of bodily pains. And devotees like Jagannananda Pandit, they could not tolerate it. So Jagannananda Pandit, he has to find ways and means to create a quilt and some soft mattress for the Lord to sleep on. He didn't feel comfortable with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sleeping on the bare floor or banana leaves and going through such difficulty. But Lord Chaitanya said, I'm a sannyasi, and my duty is to perform austerities. If I sleep on the cushion, if I sleep on the quilt, my dharma will be destroyed. So therefore, we can see that austerity is so important, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he also engaged in austerities just to show to the devotees that this is very, very important. Then we went on to see his own devotee, Raghunath Das Goswami. Raghunath Das Goswami was very renowned. In addition to that, he also performed a lot of austerity. Raghunath Das Goswami will spend 22 hours out of the 24 hours chanting japa. He would not sleep. And Mahaprabhu was so happy with Raghunath Das Goswami. Similarly, the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, they will spend 22 hours at night discussing Krishna conscious philosophy, chanting japa. They will only sleep for 2 hours. They spend their whole life performing austerities. Why? Because it is pleasing to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we come down to our own founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada performed so many austerities just to get this movement established. When Srila Prabhupada was in Jhansi, alone trying to establish the league of devotees, he performed so much austerity. And when that did not happen, Srila Prabhupada did not give up. He shifted base and began to write his books. All night, Prabhupada would not sleep. He would be writing his Bhaktivedanta purports. And then when the books were published, he had to solicit help, solicit money, finances to print his Srimad Bhagavatams. And when they are printed, he goes into the sun in Delhi to distribute these books. And one time, Srila Prabhupada was knocked down by a heat wave. Such austerities His Divine Grace went through. What to speak of the austerities he performed in America for a whole year. Srila Prabhupada had no support. He has no followers, nobody to associate with. Srila Prabhupada was all alone, performing so much austerity just to establish this movement. So austerity, and out of that austerity Srila Prabhupada performed, now we have all these glorious temples and glorious devotees and glorious preaching going all over the whole world. So we can see that austerity is important. Austerity is relevant in the life of a devotee. Our own spiritual masters, His Holiness Radha Swami Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, they perform so much austerity in order to please Srila Prabhupada. Srila Radha Maharaj spent many, many years in Vrindavan, New Vrindavan, very cold. They had to bath ice water from the river. He has just stay put and do the service of Radha Vrindavan Chandra, milking the cows in such an austere situation. Nobody wanted to stay there. But His Holiness Radha Maharaj stayed there for many, many years. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami, we know that his austerity was the distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books. And he did that par excellence. He did it so much that Srila Prabhupada was so happy with him. So austerity is important. So the spiritual master has given us the 4 basic rules and regulations. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, and no illicit sex. And on top of that, we are supposed to chant minimum of 16 rounds every day. These are austerities, even though they are so minimal compared to Valmiki Muni performing 60,000 years of austerities. This is insignificant. But because they are given to us by the spiritual master, if we follow them nicely, the result will be wonderful. So, as practitioners, as sadhakas, we have to accept this minimal austerity and conduct ourselves in such a way we can attract the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can attract the mercy of Lord Nityananda. we can attract the mercy of the previous acharyas. And when we attract that mercy, then our lives will become perfect. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, Kalena snana soichabhyam, samskarais, tapasya jaya, sudyanti, danai santushtya, dravyani atmadma vidyaya. That with time, everything becomes purified. By bathing, one's body becomes purified. By cleansing, all other articles become purified. By samskaras, birth is purified. By austerities, tapasya jaya, by austerities, the senses become purified. Sudyanti danai santushtya, by worshipping the Brahmanas and offering them gifts, our property becomes purified. And by satisfaction, the mind becomes purified. Then, Sukadeva Goswami says, Dravyani Atma Vidyaya. By engaging in Krishna consciousness, by the practice of Krishna consciousness, the soul becomes purified. So, activities in Krishna consciousness may be some form of austerity, distributing books, cooking in the kitchen, serving the deities, and all the different services may appear to be austerities, but these austerities will purify us. Srila Prabhupada says we must accept voluntary inconveniences. He said we should not be afraid to accept inconveniences. These inconveniences in devotional service also act as austerities to help us to make progress. When we accept inconveniences on behalf of the spiritual master, when we accept inconveniences on behalf of Krishna, those inconveniences, they become austerities. They become devotional austerities, and they attract the favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They attract the favor of the spiritual master. And once we attain the favor of the spiritual master and Krishna, our lives become successful. So austerity is very important, and every devotee has to find ways and means to engage in some form of austerity, in some form of service, inconvenience oneself in order to please the spiritual master. And this way, we can make our lives successful. And on this note, I will say Hare Krishna. So any comments? Hare Krishna. Any comments? Otherwise, my time is far gone. About 5 minutes
Hare
to 10
Krishna.
minutes.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Somebody want to ask a question?
Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nicely you have described how even Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu undertook austerity to give us holy name. Srila Prabhupada and all our current acharyas, they are taking austerities. In Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna says to Uddhav that I am pleased by devotional service, not by Vedic scriptures, Vedic scholarship, not by austerities and many things. So many times there is always that dilemma that how much is too much. So yesterday was the Nirjala Ekadashi. So the thought comes in mind that I should be practical.
Yes. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Yeah, that situation can be a bit confusing. You see, for the pure devotees who are already on the platform of Kaivalya Bhakti, they don't need austerities. They are naturally loving Krishna. And Krishna is naturally, Krishna is naturally attracted towards them. So such devotees as Uddhav, they don't need to perform any austerities, for sure, because they are already on that Kaivalya platform, pure bhakti. They are relishing their relationship with Krishna. But for us neophyte devotees who are trying to rise above the modes of material nature, who are trying to align with the process of bhakti, austerities are necessary. So that statement that Krishna is making is for the very advanced Uttama Adhikaris, devotees, who are on that platform. But for us, who are just beginning the process of Krishna consciousness, we must perform some austerity to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Otherwise, why does the Lord initiate this program of austerity from the very beginning of the creation? Brahma had to go through austerity in order to create. He had to go through austerity in order to perform his service. So why does Krishna do that? Because the living entities that are conditioned in this world, they require austerity. And so we all need austerity, and we can see the evidence is there that those devotees who inconvenience themselves to please their spiritual master, those devotees who inconvenience themselves to please Krishna, we can see they're making a lot of advancement. His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj told us one story about Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj. He said he became friends with Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj for one reason. And that reason is that Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj, around 75, 76, when he used to come to Mayapur, he would wake up at 1 o'clock a.m. and be chanting japa on top of the long building. In those days, there were just 3 buildings in Mayapur: the Chakra building, the Lotus building, and the Sulab kitchen. Those were the 3 buildings in Mayapur at that time. And so all the devotees would stay in the long building, Chakra building, and the sannyasis and the GBCs and Srila Prabhupada would stay in the Lotus building. And for the Sulab kitchen, there were some brahmachari ashrams there for the local devotees, and the kitchen where they were cooking. And that's where all devotees were taking prasadam. So, Bhakti Charu Maharaj said he was sleeping in the long building, and then around 1 a.m. he heard somebody chanting upstairs on the roof. The first day, he didn't take it serious. The second day, he started thinking about it. And the third day, he decided to find out who is that person chanting japa at 1 a.m. So he put on his gamcha and went upstairs and saw Ganasham. That was Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj's brahmachari name. Ganasham was chanting japa at 1 a.m. So he paid obeisances to him. Maharaj also paid obeisances to him and said, Ganasham, why are you chanting japa at this hour? And Ganasham said, he smiled and said, yes, I have to. You are very fortunate. You have taken birth in India. You are very fortunate. You've taken birth in the Bengali tribe, Lord Chaitanya's own tribe. You are very fortunate. I am not so fortunate. I took my birth in the Western world. I'm so contaminated. So I must chant more rounds. I must put on a little more effort in order to get the mercy of Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya. That is why I rise up early to chant more rounds before Mangarati. And he said he was dumbfounded. He said he was struck. So he said, this devotee, he is very special. He said that's where their friendship began. And over the years, their friendship went on. So Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj will rise 1 a.m. to chant his japa. It's a daily affair. No wonder he was so empowered to do what he did. No wonder he was so empowered to go anywhere and distribute Srila Prabhupada's books, because he went the extra mile. And we can see that all the different devotees, the different disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they've achieved a unique position, a unique empowerment, simply because they perform some unique austerity. And that I can see. That any devotee who accepts some inconveniences to serve the spiritual master, to serve Krishna, Krishna is smiling at the back, and Krishna is empowering such a devotee, and such devotee will be amazing. He'll be able to achieve a lot in this material world because he's empowered. So for the pure devotees, they're already on the pure bhakti level. They don't need austerities. They can do anything with Krishna. But for us, who are sadhakas, we need to rise early and chant our rounds. We need to perform some services. We need to study the scripture. We need to associate, because these are the things that will make our devotional service strong. Is that okay, Prabhu? Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for this wonderful enlightening class. Each point were so very inspiring for all of us. If we practice all these points, we can certainly please the spiritual masters, Srila Prabhupada, and the entire parampara and advance immensely. So let's express our gratitude to Prabhuji by loudly chanting 3 times. Haribo, Haribo. Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. I want to see you all the time when I come to